Hey everyone, Coffee Talk with Dr. Kelly Ray. How are you? How are you hanging on there? How are you holding up through all of this? It feels like the theme for this week is all about forgiveness and kind of what that looks like. What kind of course do we go through for that? If you caught my video yesterday, or if you haven't, go back and watch it. This is just kind of a pile-on to that video. So I want to talk about your inner critic demands righteousness. That's kind of part of the process of forgiveness. It's one of those things that we go through where our inner critic is meeting you in this direction of you needing and wanting to change your life, to heal from any wounds that you've received, to heal any unlimiting beliefs that you no longer want to hold on to. It can also come in the form of almost like this compromise that your inner critic's saying, well, okay, I see that you're wanting to heal, or that you're wanting to move past this experience or experiences that you've had over your lifetime, and so I'm going to meet you in doing that, but I'm going to demand some righteousness as a result of what we went through. And that's not necessarily the key to forgiveness, is demanding the righteousness, because then that almost kind of puts us in the position of the violator, quite honestly. How many times have you known somebody or heard of somebody who, growing up in school, they were bullied and picked on and all of those things, and as they grew into being an adult, they then became the bully themselves as a way to protect themselves? It's the way their inner critic has formulated beliefs and protection mechanisms over those injustices that were done. And there's no judgments on that. It's just, if you're wanting to truly heal and move past these things, we have to move past those feelings of righteousness and, demanding that the wrongs be righted. Because the truth is, that just keeps you stuck. That just keeps you in a different form of victimization. Yesterday I talked about, from my own experience in life, having been sexually abused, and that I did, there was a part of me that was like really angry about forgiving these people, because I didn't understand the whole concept of forgiveness. That I thought, how dare I forgive these people who have violated a child? And I had to forgive myself because I didn't realize I was actually stuck in the story of being a victim. Who was I going to be outside of being the girl who had been molested and raped? Who was I going to be, the girl who was afraid of intimacy and relationships? Who was I going to be besides the girl who was overweight, who used that as a protection mechanism to keep myself from feeling beautiful and desirable and all of that? That's part of the journey through forgiveness, is getting to that other side. We get so ingrained in our story. We get so married to it that it's, quite honestly, sometimes hard to divorce it. It's like having a breakup in a relationship. It just doesn't necessarily happen overnight. It's a process to build up to that point, that now all of a sudden this relationship ends. However people decide to end it, most of us aren't necessarily taught healthy skills for ending relationships, and so we do them shitty based on our own experiences, right? Hopefully we can move past that. But I think about this time period right now, where so many of us over the last 2 months, with result of the coronavirus, have been put in a state of uncertainty. A state of uncertainty is a beautiful, beautiful state for working through forgiveness, working through our story, working through our triggers. It doesn't feel like it. It feels anything but that. But I can tell you that during times of uncertainty is when we tend to get triggered more than during those times when we feel very certain about what's going on in life, when we feel very certain about who we are in this life. I can go by what I'm seeing, by people sharing on social media, that there's definitely a sense of uncertainty, and it's coming out in forms of huge righteousness. Righteousness that my life has been turned upside down. Righteousness that there is no coronavirus. Righteousness that there is a huge thing of coronavirus, and everything in between. And to focus on the coronavirus would be a really great way to go demand the righteousness so that I don't have to deal with the triggers that I'm feeling right now. Some of the triggers that people could be experiencing right now is one, being outside of work, not necessarily the economical part, although that plays a very big part, more of who am I now that I've not been in my role of whatever my job is. I see this a lot with men in particular because of being primarily, the hunters, the gatherers, the ones that they're generally defined by their job and by their financial income that they make, and now they could potentially be in this space of not doing that, and it can really toss you ass over tea kettle, as my mom used to say, because it's like I don't know who I am, I don't know what my purpose is, and it can cause you to have that righteous indignation that this is wrong because I'm not getting to do what I want to do or what I feel like I have to be doing right now. And it can be real easy to point the fingers at all of the outside influences that are causing this injustice to me, causing me to feel victimized by all of this, which then comes out in many ways. I know all of you that are on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or social media of some kind, in addition to the regular media, are seeing and even possibly sharing posts that support your righteousness, support what it is that your inner critic is feeling that you've been victimized to. The same is for, I give that example for men because I see it's really hard. A lot of men define themselves by what they do. And then outside of that, it's, then they're a father, then they're a husband, they're, a son, a brother, whatever they might be. But so many of them keep their status of what they are in their profession to the highest degree. And this could be very, very triggering right now because it's maybe having to have you look at those things. And uncertainty brings up those opportunities to look at them. Also, could be possibly triggering other things in all of us that we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm getting very uncomfortable in my skin with this status quo of where things are. And then, do I wear a mask? Do I not wear a mask? Do I wear gloves? Do I not wear gloves? And then everybody becomes an expert in that. Rather than, where are we going inside to look at all of this stuff? Where are we going inside? Now, I'm not saying that we just, as the term sheeple, we all become sheeple and just kowtow to whatever's going on. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not advocating for that or anything. I am merely using this as an opportunity of uncertainty for people to go within, to look in, where is it they might be being triggered, because that triggering is actually your inner critic kind of like losing some ground, losing what they feel of their certainty. Because when you're just doing your life every day, living by your limiting beliefs and not dealing with them, your inner critic's like, dude, we got this, keep going. And, so you won't be, having the ideal relationship that you want, or yeah, you won't fix those family things. You can continue being mad because we got this. And I hate to say it, but that's what happens. Your inner critic likes to feel like it's absolutely in control and will demand righteousness as to why you should not even remotely question any of the things that happen. And if you do, it's got to be all outside of you rather than potentially owning some of what might be going on in here inside. So I want you to look and see if there's anywhere in your life right now where you're just feeling this burning passion to correct a wrong. Where is that inside of you? What is that level? I don't want you to go from being the victim to being the bully, because that's not very helpful at all. You're just trading one problem for another. I see this in relationships all the time. Where are you not being kind to your body? Are you consuming foods as a form of comfort because you feel so horrible and you feel so uncertain and you feel so emotionally triggered by all of this, and yet still eating foods that are unhealthy for you so that you can stay in that perpetual cycle? So then you can be like, it's because of the coronavirus, it's because of this, it's because of that this is happening. It's a really crazy cycle. So I'm going to tell you that the road to forgiveness is not through your inner critic's righteousness stance. It's moving past that. And if you're feeling triggered right now and you're feeling a little off kilter, or you're feeling like a little overwhelmed from all of this, understandably so. These are times that we've not lived in before, and maybe you're being the mom and now you are feeling triggered as mom because you're doing mom different than what you did. Now you're having to homeschool your kids and maybe not be working and stressing over all of the other duties that you would normally have to do, and you're not getting a break. So your inner critic's then going to be demanding righteousness that these kids go back to school or that you get a break or whatever. Where are you giving yourself some leeway? Where are you giving yourself a break? During times of uncertainty, it's a fine line that we're walking on. And there's ways to do this. There's ways that you can support yourself along this way. There's ways that you can get some tools to help you as you cross this. I see like a tight wire or whatever they used to call that, where you see the people walk across those lines 100, 500 feet up in the air, tightrope. There's ways that we can help balance you as you cross this tightrope, this time of uncertainty, until we get perpetually moving in a direction where we're getting back to some type of normalcy. It won't be the normalcy we had, but some sort of normalcy. But in the meantime, you can empower yourself. Righteousness is not necessarily an empowerment. It's another side of a coin of victimization. So if you could use some assistance and some guidance and some support right now, I'm going to encourage you to get in touch with me and let's have a conversation. Let me see how I can help you and how I can give you maybe some tools to continue moving along this path that you're on, and give you more of a sense of certainty. Until next time, please know, as always, I send you so much love. Bye.